Mid90s is written and directed by Jonah Hill. It stars Sonny Suljic, Catherine Watterson, Lucas Hedges, and Nikhil Smith. Mid90s is a coming-of-age story that follows the story of Steve, who is 13 years old in LA. And this movie, the setting is the summer in the mid-1990s. And what basically is happening is that he has a really rough life at home. He has a very abusive brother, a mother that has her own demons. And one day he goes into a shop where he meets a bunch of skaters, starts to become friends with them. So he starts to skate, starts to be like them. And while he's hanging out with them, he's dealing with his life at home. So the movie's a coming of age story about him and how you see his character change. And basically things start to happen that I don't want to spoil, but that's Mid90s in a nutshell. Now, Mid90s is brought to us by a company called A24. A24 has released over 20 films in total. A lot of them have received a lot of critical praise, and a lot of people have A24 as one of the best studios working today. For me, I think they're good. I don't love them as much as most people do. There's a lot of films I do like from them, and some of them I do find overrated. So because of that, I was kind of on the fence about this movie. Now, what intrigued me about this movie, though, was a couple of things. One, when I saw the trailer, I saw written and directed by Jonah Hill. I was like, okay, Jonah Hill is an actor that I like. I first saw him in Superbad. He was really funny then. And then I know he's done a few comedies after that. But then he was in Moneyball, and he was nominated for an Oscar for that. And then Wolf of Wall Street, which he was nominated for an Oscar for that. So he started to become an actor who was upping his game and started to be one of the best actors working today. So when I found out that he was behind a director's chair at this time, I'm like, okay, let's see what he can do. And plus, this movie premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival and received a lot of praise. So that had me intrigued alone. And I got to say, Mid90s was great. I loved it. I got to say, I liked it more than I thought I would. And let's get into why. First off, Mid90s is one of the funniest movies of the year. Now, this is not a straight-up comedy because there is some drama that is going on, especially when Stevie is dealing with his life and you find out some things about his skater friends. It does become dramatic. And there's even one monologue at the end which really hits home. So, but the good thing about it is that it balances comedy and drama to perfection. I never felt like, you know, it was too funny to the point where it was offensive or too dramatic to the point where no one wanted to watch it. Jonah Hill managed to find that balance, and I got to commend him for that because when it's funny, man. I mean, I laughed a lot towards this movie, especially towards the characters. The characters in this movie are great, too. Stevie is a character that he's 13 years old, and you do sympathize with him because of the life he's having, and you get to go along the journey of what his life is like and, you know, how he, like I said, how he transforms basically to what he was from the beginning till how he, you know, progresses as the movie goes along. And the other characters, his friends, they're great. They're really funny. There's some characters, one called Fourth Grade, the other called Fuck Shit. Yeah, that's his name, Fuck Shit. And he's really funny in the movie. The standout character for me, though, out of the whole group is Nikhil Smith's character. He is the one who is really well done. What's really cool about this movie, I think, Jonah Hill actually casted real life skaters. So there's 3 characters in the movie. Nikhil Smith is one of them, and they're real life skaters. So this is the first time they're acting, and I thought the acting was terrific. For first time actors, they did a really great job, and they all had good chemistry. And what's also so great about this movie is the amount of depth this movie has. Because here's the thing. This movie, a lot of them are teenagers. I think the oldest one's like 17-ish or 18. I think 17. But anyway, they all have something to offer in this movie. It's not like they're not just great because they're funny or you know, they're likable, even though some of them, you know, they're teenagers and they do some things that are, you know, a little bit questionable. But as you get to know them, Jonah Hill decides to, you know, add emotional depth to them. You know, like you find out that just because one kid seems so cool, you never really know what a kid's life is like. You know, some kid might be, oh, I'm Mr. Popular, you know, I smoke, I have sex, and I'm basically living the best life. But then you find out that that kid does not have the best life. Maybe that kid doesn't want to go, he's always out because he doesn't want to go home. And there's even a scene that explores that. And it was really great to watch. And I had so much fun with this movie. This movie is 84 minutes long, and you don't feel it. It flies by really fast. In terms of flaws, the one flaw I do have with it, and it's going to sound weird because I never have this problem with most movies, but I think the movie could have been longer because, like I said, it's 84 minutes. And the reason why I say it could have been longer is because there's a few characters that I felt like could have had a little bit more substance to them, more depth to them. And that's not to say the characters are bad or anything, but for example, like Stevie's mom, who's played by Katherine Waterston, she does a good job in the movie, and she's great. But I really wanted to see more of her. I think if they had made this movie maybe about 20 or 25 minutes longer and had taken the time to develop her, maybe develop Lucas Hedges' character, he gives a very good performance too. But same thing applies to him and this one other kid. See, if they had added just a little bit more emotional depth to that and just expanded upon more of those themes, I think this would be like top 5 of the year worthy, honestly. But with that being said, it's still a great movie. Jonah Hill made a hell of a directorial debut, and I had a lot of fun watching it. I was emotionally invested. The characters are great. I liked it more than I thought I would, and this is coming from someone who is not really the biggest fans of coming-of-age movies. I mean, I like coming-of-age films a lot. I find myself struggling to really love them like most other people do. But I do love this movie. It's fantastic. It is one of the better movies of the year. I'm going to give it an A. That is a 9 out of 10. It's great. It's a great movie. I know it's playing in select theaters now. I was fortunate enough to have this played near me. So if it is playing near you, I would go out and see it. Oh, and one thing, too. Actually, just a couple of things before I end the review. There's some sort of backlash that it's like they're saying that the kids are just talking in so much. They're using a lot of vulgar language and that they use the word faggot a lot and how it's offensive and everything. Look, listen, the movie's not trying to, glorify this cursing. I think Jonah Hill, what he's trying to do is represent how teenagers talk even now and how they talked back then. Because I'll even tell you, I was not born in. I didn't grow up in the mid-90s. I was born in 96. But even growing up, when I was going to middle school, people use the word faggot like they use the word candy. Now, I'm not saying that's okay. I mean, I hate that word, faggot. But I think the movie is trying to portray how teenagers act, how they talk. And Jonah Hill, I think, does that really well. So I don't think that complaint is valid at all. And another thing, too, this movie is shot on 16 millimeter. Now, what that means is that it's kind of like widescreen, but not widescreen as we know it, like this way. So the screen is kind of like this. So there's black here, and you just see the film in the middle. And some people might find that distracting. I mean, to me, it took me like maybe 3 or 4 minutes to get used to it, but an hour in and I was like already used to it and I didn't mind it at all. And I thought it was shot really well too. So that wasn't a complaint for me. But anyway, that's all I want to say. Mid-90s is a great movie. Go see it. Support movies like this. Support original independent films that are great because they deserve your money. And I hope that this movie is going to be talked about for the next couple of months. Maybe some Oscar consideration. I don't know. Hopefully that'd be cool. So yeah, Mid-90s gets an A. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Until next time, guys, I'm Dago Koya. See you guys later.